Marc Marquez proved himself a living legend once again after securing the World Championship title at the Japanese Grand Prix. This victory was not just about the trophy. It was also tangible proof that hard work and determination can overcome all doubts. Even his most vocal critic, Carlo Pernat, and the others who had often underestimated him, finally bowed down and acknowledged the greatness of the baby alien. Was this the most epic moment in Marquez's unforgettable comeback? Let's discuss it. Motegi once again witnessed history. On a circuit that is so special to Marc Marquez, the baby alien wrote his name in gold once again. This time, it wasn't just a victory, it was the absolute confirmation of his extraordinary comeback. He is the 2025 MotoGP World Champion. For Marquez, this title meant more than just a number in the history books. It was proof and the answer to all doubts. It erased the stigma of 6 years filled with pain, tears, surgeries, and sharp criticism. It was a long journey from the brink of destruction to the pinnacle of glory that left the world speechless. Even his haters finally had to admit that Marc Marquez deserved to be king again. Marquez secured his 9th world title, his 7th in the Premier class, with 5 races still remaining. His absolute dominance was reflected in the numbers: 541 points, 211 points ahead of his closest rival. There was no room for debate or denial. This was the legend's complete supremacy. Ironically, however, he wasn't the ultimate winner at Motegi. He finished second, right behind Francesco Bagnaia. But that result was enough to secure the World Championship. This moment in history is recorded as the largest points margin in the modern MotoGP era. A level of dominance that is hard to believe, especially considering the dark times that threatened his career. On the podium, all the emotions he had been suppressing exploded. Marquez burst into tears in front of thousands of spectators, fans, rivals, and even those who had once doubted him. With a trembling voice, he could only say, "It's hard to speak. I've fallen. I've made mistakes. But I kept fighting. Now I'm the champion again." This proves that a true champion may fall but never truly loses. After Marquez secured the title, Ducati General Manager Luigi Dall'Igna spoke. He admitted that signing Marquez for 2024 was one of the riskiest decisions of his career. "We knew that bringing Marc meant bringing a storm of pressure and expectations, as well as division within the paddock. But today, it all proved true. Marc is not just a rider, he is a phenomenon. With Ducati, he rewrote history," Dall'Igna said. He also added that this title will lay the foundation for Ducati to continue dominating the new MotoGP era. Carlo Pernat, one of the most vocal observers of MotoGP, admitted he was amazed by Marquez's rise. In an interview with GP1, he described Marquez's journey with emotional words. "Marc is not just a champion because of the titles he won, but also because of how he achieved them. He went through hell, injuries, surgeries, mental anguish. He burned out, but he managed to recover. I don't know how he did it, but he deserves it all," said Pernat. Pernat said that Marc Marquez's presence put incredible pressure on Francesco Bagnaia. With Marquez around, the easy becomes difficult, and the difficult becomes impossible. "I think Bagnaia is experiencing the worst moment of his life," he added. However, he also paid tribute to Pecco. "We owe him an apology. He recovered from the pressure and delivered an incredible performance at Motegi, but Marc was the strongest today." Another emotional figure was Santi Hernandez, Marquez's former crew chief at Honda. Hernandez is more than just a mechanic. He has witnessed every ups and down of Marquez's career. He has been with the champion through his deepest wounds since his horrific accident at Jerez in 2020. From behind the garage, Hernandez watched Marquez's life change completely. 4 surgeries on his right arm, pain that never went away, and Honda's decline from the top. At that time, people were saying that the Marquez era was over. Many thought he would never return to the same level. Amidst these doubts, Marquez made the boldest decision of his life. He left Honda, the team that nurtured him, and took a huge risk by joining Ducati for the 2024 season. Almost everyone doubted the move, considering it the ultimate gamble. Marc chose a path filled with thorns and challenges. Look at him today. All those doubts have been shattered. I cried watching him return as world champion. This isn't just a title. It's a symbol of struggle, courage, and perhaps the greatest comeback in the sport's history, said Hernandez, his voice trembling and his eyes welling with tears as he recalled his long journey with the baby alien. MotoGP legend Dani Pedrosa also paid his respects. His former Repsol Honda teammate emphasised that the 2025 world title would mean far more than adding a number to Marquez's career statistics. Everyone knows how it all works out. There were long-term injuries, countless surgeries, pain that never truly went away, and difficult decisions that sometimes forced him to return too soon. All of that had devastated him. But today, he had rewritten history. This isn't just another title, it's a victory over himself, Pedrosa told DAZN, his voice filled with emotion. Furthermore, Pedrosa revealed a rarely known personal story. In 2023, during the darkest period of his career, Marquez nearly lost hope and sought his advice directly at Motegi. At the time, no one knew if Marquez would bounce back or if his career would end due to injury. Now, 2 years later, at the same circuit, Marquez stands again as world champion. Following Marc Marquez's back-to-back victories in Europe, which further cemented his dominance with Ducati, the spotlight has shifted to Southeast Asia. The Mandalika Grand Prix, GP, is now considered one of the most prestigious races in the region. Additionally, Yamaha has announced some exciting news. The Iwata-based team is reportedly considering a new aerodynamic package to be tested immediately at Mandalika. Fabio Quartararo, who has often struggled to break into the front row this season, emphasised that Mandalika could be a turning point. I know this race will be crazy. If we have the speed on a track like Mandalika, the podium is wide open, he said enthusiastically. Meanwhile, Pedro Acosta continues to steal the spotlight at KTM. This sensational rookie is expected to be a major threat at Mandalika because his aggressive riding style suits the circuit, which combines fast corners and technical sections. Even MotoGP legends like Jorge Lorenzo praise Acosta. He has the courage typical of a young Marquez, but also the careful calculation. At Mandalika, he could cause a big surprise, said Lorenzo. The Ducati camp is developing a strategy. Pecco Bagnaia, who is still struggling to recover from the mental pressure of Marquez's dominance, emphasised that the Mandalika race must be a turning point. I can't let Marc ride alone. In Indonesia, I'll give it my all, he asserted confidently. After all the drama, tears and comebacks that shook the MotoGP world, Marc Marquez's story is entering a new chapter. From Motegi to Mandalika, he's ready for the next fierce battle. One thing is clear, Marquez isn't just back, he's reclaimed his throne. The big question now echoing throughout the paddock is whether anyone will be able to stop the baby alien for the rest of the season, or if we will witness even more insane dominance at Mandalika. Leave your thoughts below.